Live, local, now. This is the news at daybreak.
Citizens in Georgia need to wake up and pay attention.
Thousands of people waking up without power as now Tropical Storm Michael makes its way across Georgia and South Carolina.
You see what it did around here and snapped trees like they were due to.
Michael made landfall in Florida as the third most powerful hurricane to ever hit the U.S. mainland, just shy of a Category 5 hurricane. Destroying buildings and sending debris across the Florida Panhandle, at least 2 people have been killed. Now the concern is the possibility of tornadoes. We've had crews reporting in the coastal empire and low country throughout the night.
You can see just the sheets of rain coming down behind me. We are in downtown Statesboro right now.
Our coverage continues this morning. The news starts now.
Thanks for watching The News at Daybreak. I'm Ken Greiner.
Good morning, I'm Cyria Sandlin. We continue to follow Michael, which has now been downgraded to a tropical storm. So First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin joining us now. So Cutter, how much longer can we expect to see the effects of this storm?
Yes, Cyria, good morning. Basically, it's going to be a gradual process. Technically, may see the effects for the majority of the day, but less and less as the day wears on. Right now, it's really just down to sprinkles here at Candler-Jenkins counties over to northern Bullitt County. Want to check in on folks in Statesboro. Nasty weather earlier this morning. Daniela Wan watching some minor damage there. Quite a bit of rainfall early on. Right now, again, just sprinkles. But as these little rain bands approach from Portal, Aikens Mill, the northwest side, as they approach Georgia southern areas inside the bypass, they will bring an increase in winds once again. So we're all still windy this morning. Low country all the way down to Waycross, but sprinkles now, even areas north of I-16. Today, still a first alert weather day. We have quite a bit of tree debris down across the area this morning and at least scattered power outages. But here's the improvement. 8:30, pretty much all of the rain shifting north and east, and we're going to see dry air wrap around on the bottom side of this. So by 11:30 noon, we're talking sunshine. Still windy out there, a lot of sun, high temperatures today, still warm into upper 80s. This is a morning issue for the morning commute, and then gradually improving, and we're remaining dry through the evening. And the flow around, Michael, is actually going to drive a cold front into the area. Believe it or not, upper 50s, lower 60s tomorrow morning. Your Friday morning commute likely unimpacted by the weather. Hopefully good enough and calm enough later today we can get out, clear any tree debris there is on any area roadways. And heading into the weekend, it is nothing but wall-to-wall gorgeous weather in the forecast. Of course, there's still a little bit of concern with some of the gusts we're seeing early this morning. Meteorologist Andrew Gordon and I in the Weather Center will keep you updated here, traffic and weather together throughout this next hour of the News at Daybreak.
And we are live in Effingham County, Guyton specifically. We were on Honey Ridge Road and saw significant tree debris across the roadway. Some of the worst debris that I've seen on Honey Ridge. So a lot of people trying to get up, go to work. They have to go from Effingham to maybe the Port Authority. So let's go ahead and take a live look outside from the WTOC Storm Chaser roof cam. We are on Floyd Avenue now, and this tree snapped in half. I'm going to pan over for you. We've got the spotlight on here, and you can see the tree cross the roadway, blocking people in. So if you were living in the Cameron area, a great little neighborhood off Floyd Avenue, I'm going to zoom in here, and I know that we just missed EMA and the fire as we were on Honey Ridge because some of these branches, not snapped, freshly cut. You can actually see the yellow from those freshly cut limbs. So the EMA and fire have been diligently working in most communities that we saw road crews on 280 cleaning up debris or on their way to clean up debris when we were in the middle of town on Main Street 280, right in the middle of the heart of Pembroke. And so driving through portions of Effingham County, we have seen a couple of crews on the roadways, a couple of people with their tractor trailers carrying backhoes and larger equipment to move some of the debris that is fallen in Effingham County. So some of the worst debris, Honey Ridge and Floyd Avenue. Live in Effingham County, Jamie Ertl in the WTOC Storm Chaser.
As Tropical Storm Michael continues to impact our area, we are seeing some areas west of Savannah experiencing a lot of damage.
Yeah, our Dal Kennedy is in Toombs County this morning. Dal, what are you seeing out there?
Ken, we've talked about the rains coming and going. We'll wash, rinse, repeat. I'm going to show you some trees back behind me. Hopefully you can see them back that way as they're swaying back and forth in the wind. The winds have picked back up a little bit, but not nearly what we saw even an hour or 2 hours ago. And the rain comes down, but still less than what we have seen. Things are starting to back down a little bit. We are getting reports of trees down. We're getting reports of water in roadways. We know the emergency crews, now that the winds have settled back down, they're below the threshold for their safety. They're going back out there checking they're checking the paved roads, but now they're beginning to check the dirt roads to see which ones are blocked, see where trees have fallen. If folks that live back that way are stuck and can't get out to a main road, they're trying to get those folks taken care of right now. Much of that work will begin once daylight gets here, but they're trying to check on things now and assess the damage. We do know thousands of homes without power. According to the EMA director here, as many as 5,000 homes without power. They're going to start trying to work in conjunction with the utility crews to get out there, make sure there's no fire hazards or anything as those folks begin their work. But right now, it's just waiting for daylight to really get a better sense of what's going on. Live in Lyons, Toombs County, Dow Kennedy, WTOC News.
We want you to take a look at some of this video. Dangerous conditions right off the road. This was shot about an hour ago, showing power lines sparking on 25 in Garden City.
All right, take a look at Georgia Power right now. You can see there are problems with power outages throughout our viewing area. Over 198,000 customers have been affected statewide, according to Georgia Power. Now, South Carolina is dealing with its own set of outages. Nearly 8,000 outages reported in just Beaufort County alone.
And some breaking news overnight. Officials confirm an 11-year-old girl has died in Seminole County, Georgia, as a result of Tropical Storm Michael. The Seminole County EMA director says this happened when a mobile carport was picked up by the wind, crashed through a roof, and hit that girl on the head. Officials could not get to the girl until about 2 a.m. this morning. Also, one person confirmed dead in Florida as a result of Hurricane Michael. This happened in Gadsden County, just outside of Tallahassee. Now, according to the sheriff's office, the man was killed when a tree crashed through the roof of a home, trapping him inside. And now in Lee County, callers are still trying to get law enforcement to people widespread storm damage and outages throughout the county. You can see a lot of trees down, power lines down on roads and homes. A lot of county officials right now working to clear those area roads.
Take a look at this video here out of Florida where the hurricane passed through yesterday. On the left, you can see trees falling throughout Panama City, hitting houses and blocking the path of cars. A tree on your right fell right by Florida State's Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. Florida State is closed through Friday because of the storm. Yesterday, the Cajun Navy stationed in Florida said they were having a hard time keeping up.
I can tell you our Facebook, our call center is getting inundated right now, where we're having a hard time keeping up. Not as many people evacuated as we thought were going to do it.
You'll remember, Cajun Navy also dispatched help out with rescuers in eastern North Carolina during Hurricane Florence.
We want to show you right now a look at some of the high winds Panama City Beach, Florida experienced as what was then Hurricane Michael passed through the area. You can see boats being tossed around by heavy winds in both places. We're going to send it right now over to Andrew Gorton tracking the roads right now. Was it safe to be out there in this wind, Andrew?
Yeah, it's okay. You just have to be careful. So the Jamie Casino Traffic Tracker is actually about to head on over to I-16 eastbound, and that's because reports of a tree on the right lane. So it's about to get moving here, and then I'm going to show you exactly where this is. So going over toward those traffic maps, this is where you can expect to see this. So I-16 eastbound, this is near mile point 148. That's the right lane, tree, and the roadway, obviously not causing backups right now, and expected to clear. Well, it kind of depends. Not too clear on when that is going to happen. But if you are traveling eastbound on I-16, I would definitely recommend that you guys just being careful and not being in the right lane. We'll try to get some video of that for you guys here coming up shortly. Otherwise, we're just going to give you some tips this morning. You want to watch out for debris. Obviously, that's been an issue here this morning for some folks. Keep a firm grip on the wheel because some of those winds are are still gusting up there, enough to kind of move your vehicle around just a little bit, especially next to other vehicles and those big 18-wheelers. But drive times here this morning really aren't so bad. 278, everything in the green here for the most part. Folks heading over to Hilton Head Island. Also on 21 southbound. When's the last time you saw Goshen Road at 95? Only 5 minutes on a work morning. Not so bad. So we're going to keep you updated here traffic-wise this morning. So stay tuned for updates.
President Trump continues to hold rallies in support of GOP candidates across the nation. What he had to say last night in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Plus, an arrest has been made in connection to a deadly limo crash in upstate New York. Welcome back and thank you for watching the news at Daybreak. We will have another look at weather and traffic and more updates on Michael in 10 minutes. But first, Vice President Mike Pence has canceled a trip to Georgia because of Tropical Storm Michael. He had planned to visit the Delta Tech Ops facility in Atlanta before campaigning for Republican gubernatorial candidate Brian Kemp. Pence also said that he had to cancel a campaign visit when Hurricane Florence hit last month. No word on if he'll reschedule. Kemp, of course, is running for governor against Democrat Stacey Abrams. Well, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is returning to South Carolina in a few weeks as he continues to feel out a potential 2020 presidential bid. The state newspaper reports Sanders plans to speak at a rally for Our Revolution SC, which endorsed Democrat James Smith. That's happening October 20th. Smith will run against incumbent Governor Henry McMaster in the general election.
If you live in South Carolina, remember your voter registration deadline has been extended. You have until October 17th to register. This applies to in-person and mail-in registration.
President Trump continues to campaign for GOP candidates ahead of the November 6th election. President Trump held a Make America Great Again rally in Erie, Pennsylvania on Wednesday night. This was the second of a 4-state rally tour through the Midwest. The president is campaigning for GOP candidates Representative Mike Kelly and Senate candidate Lou Barletta before the election. He continued to comment on the investigation into allegations of sexual assault against Brett Kavanaugh before his confirmation.
What the radical Democrats did to Brett Kavanaugh and his beautiful family is a national disgrace. It's a disgrace. What they did was a disgrace. You look at Cory Booker, the way he talked, and then you look at what he did. You look at Senator Dianne Feinstein, what she did. The disgraceful behavior, the disgraceful leaking of documents. You look at what they did. You look at the false charges. You look at the false accusations. It was a disgrace.
The president also calling to speak with Governor Nathan Deal yesterday about Hurricane Michael.
State police in New York have charged Nauman Hussein with criminally negligent homicide following Saturday's deadly limousine crash in upstate New York. Hussein is the operator of the Prestige Limo, a company owned by his father, Shahid Hussein. The father of a former FBI informant is not currently facing charges. Now, federal documents show the limo failed an inspection in September and was not properly registered. Nauman Hussein pleaded not guilty in court yesterday and posted a $150,000 bond.
For that motor vehicle being on the road on Saturday, rest with Nauman Hussein.
The limo's driver's widow said he had expressed concerns about the safety of the company's vehicles.
Government officials approving CVS's bid to acquire Aetna for $69 billion, paving the way for the largest health insurance deal in history. This merger would be a game changer for the healthcare industry. Aetna shed its Medicare Part D prescription drug business for the deal to get the green light from the Trump administration. The deal will be complete pending a judge's approval of the settlement. CVS pharmacies and Minute clinics are key in the success of the merger. The hope is to provide faster and broader access for things like vaccinations, diagnosis, and treatment of illnesses like strep throat and ear infections. Advocacy groups worry the merger will result in reduced competition, harming quality and consumer choice.
In the Weather Center, we have several confirmed reports of wind gusts greater than 40 miles per hour. We'll have a little bit of tree damage this morning and power outages, but a better forecast is on the way. I'll have the hour-by-hour details coming right up. 6:20, good morning and welcome back. I want to kind of zoom out, reset, talk about what's going on in the atmosphere before getting to the local look for you, because it all plays a part into what you can expect today. Of course, we have the remnants of Michael tropical storm moving north and east. Notice how quickly it clears out. We actually have a cold front, believe it or not, here off to our west. This is quickly going to bring cooler, drier, sunnier conditions into the first alert forecast, but we just have to get through these morning hours before we can see the sunshine. And then eventually this evening, the cooler air. Right now, the wettest conditions, the damp roadways, puddling occurring there near Millen down to Metter, especially the north side of the county, perhaps the north side of Emmanuel County and moving into Screven County. Some of the heavier rain totals in here, still not that impressive, but within this 3-4 county stretch. Further to the south, we are mostly dry. Don't want to forget about folks south of I-16, south of the Altamaha River, and in the low country. Again, bringing you down into this area. Little Wissy, Brentwood, Zion, Glenville, maybe some sprinkles, but overall it's mainly just cloudy and windy out there. That's the same story for the South Carolina low country. Beaufort, Hilton Head into Bluffton, Levy, Ridgeland, Chatham County. A lot of wind, but just the occasional spritz or two. Hour by hour, we're going to see that rain band maybe sink a little bit further south going into the 7, 8, 9 o'clock hours, but still just generally light rain. And then we're going to wrap drier, sunnier weather back into the forecast. 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and for evening plans, pretty good to go. So this afternoon, high temperatures, we're still warm, upper 80s, maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm, gusty offshore breezes, and we will be seeing more sunshine later today. Cooler air is going to hold off a little bit, but you may notice that difference. By 10 to 11 o'clock this evening, no additional rainfall tonight. We're going to keep it breezy, and by tomorrow morning, that's really when you notice it. Upper 50s, lower 60s. Gorgeous weekend ahead. And I'm going to be at Sugar Magnolia Bakery and Cafe with the Storm Chaser as part of my bigwig Susan G. Komen tour, and I would love to see you out there Saturday morning soaking up that cooler weather.
In traffic-wise this morning, of course, there are a few issues with the wind that we had. Some debris on area roadways. The Jamie Casino traffic tracker heading to possible tree down. That's what the report is over on the right-hand lane, I-16. I'm going to show you where that is coming up. That's around mile point 148. So just keep in mind if you're coming to eastbound 16, just be careful. Don't stay in that right lane. Get away from those trees. Also, because of the wind, Talmadge Bridge closed a couple ways around that. You can take the Houlihan Bridge. Of course, you've got some more folks taking that here this morning, or you could just take I-95 as your detour. No word on when that's going to open back up, but you want to watch out for debris this morning. Keep a firm grip on that wheel. It is breezy out there still, and give other vehicles a little bit more space. And we're going to keep you updated on traffic conditions all morning long.
We continue our team coverage of Tropical Storm Michael. We have a crew all over the coastal empire.
Yeah, Danielle Lewan is reporting from Statesboro on conditions there. Danielle, what are you seeing out there right now?
Well, guys, I just had my photographer wipe off that lens if you saw, because it's raining again. These wind conditions have not let up at all, and we're seeing more of the destruction as we travel throughout Statesboro. We passed by this tent. It was a stand where this gentleman sells wood from, and it was intact just about 2 hours ago. You can see at this point completely dilapidated. These PVC pipes torn in half, and also these cylindrical cement blocks also taken with these wind gusts. That's how strong that they are out here. And again, we are monitoring the areas from downtown Statesboro. We're headed out now to the Georgia Southern University campus. What we think that we're going to find there, some of those downed trees, downed limbs, those large oak trees that cover the campus. But again, as you can see this destruction right here, know that this wind is bringing things down. So if you're at home and you're inside, stay there. But we'll continue these updates out here in Statesboro. Reporting live, Danielle Lewan, WTOC News.
Now, most Georgia school districts will be closed today because of Michael. That includes schools in Savannah, Chatham, Bryan, Effingham, and many others. And in South Carolina, Beaufort and Hampton County schools will also be closed. WTOC has heard from several colleges about closures. Visit the story on WTOC.com to see the full list. We'll update it as more districts let us know.
Well, the power is back on at Savannah State this morning after it was lost overnight during the storms. The university is still closed today, but residence and dining halls are open. We do have that full list of school and university closures. Just go to WTOC.com or download the app. Also, Chatham area transit buses, paratransit vans, and water ferries will not be operating today because of Michael. We're still waiting to hear when operations will resume, and of course, we will let you know.
And other areas across the coastal empire, more so inland, middle Georgia, South Carolina, they're feeling the impacts of this as well, especially 16 eastbound. So just talked to you guys earlier about there was a tree that was on part of the right lane there near mile point 148, but also on I-16, we're seeing other areas. So if you're traveling regionally, you got to watch out for some of these here. Road blocked on I-16 here because of a fallen tree. That's on 16 eastbound around exit 67. So of course, not in our area, but something to keep in mind if you're traveling a little bit more regionally today. Also, the right lane blocked due to a different fallen tree, and that's over on I-16 eastbound as well. That's the trouble spot today before GA 297. But maybe you're going up to Augusta, coming back from Augusta. That's actually not going to be quite as bad there. Still breezy. This is more so where the rain's still falling from what's left of Michael there, that tropical storm there. So you want to be careful, of course. But here locally, we're starting to see those road conditions improve just a little bit here in the Savannah area, low country, coastal empire, except for some of those trees that are on the roadways and some debris. So, of course, you still want to use caution while you're driving, and we're going to keep you updated on those area roadways here all morning long.
All right, as the morning goes on, we continue to see more of the storm damage in Georgia, Florida, and Alabama.
And we are tracking windy conditions still on the west side. Sustained winds greater than 30 miles per hour. I will have the latest coming up here in just a few minutes.